That was genuinely our best performance of the new year. That was probably one of our best performances of the season in totality. A top 5 performance this season from this Liverpool squad. And a dominant, effective, proper job. Going away to Marseille is not an easy place to go to. I think we haven't been there since 07, 08, back in the Torres, Gerrard days. So it's a hostile atmosphere for any away team to go to. It's never going to be an easy game. But the way these Liverpool players made it look today, they made it look very, very easy. They made it look very, very simple to cut through that Marseille side. And in that first half, I was so frustrated, specifically with Szoboszlai, right? I know the past weekend when we played Burnley, so many times we had counterattacks. He would slow it down. He would, take a bad touch. Similar today, would get the ball, break the ball off of Marseille. Final ball is just poor. Final touch is just poor. Final decision making is poor, right? I was getting really, really frustrated that first half because we could have had several opportunities to go to have a shot on goal against Rulli, right? Several opportunities to have that in the first half, and we just kept missing. We kept not taking advantage of those opportunities. Marseille playing out the back. They were reckless. They were giving the ball away. They were every way De Zerbi wants to play the game. They were fumbling his tactics, his style of play that first half, right? De Zerbi wants to play a style of play where there's a lot of movement, a lot of attacking. You play out the back, quick passing, short passing, etc., etc. The Marseille players, they weren't following through with that. They were giving the ball away recklessly, taking unnecessary chances, and I guess that's part of the De Zerbi, style of play, taking unnecessary chances and just making mistakes all throughout the first half. And Liverpool was not capitalizing on those mistakes at all. Second half starts. Well, actually, before the second half starts, the goal Liverpool score is such a funny goal to concede, right? We know every time a team gets a free kick near the edge of the box, there's always a guy behind the wall laying down, ready to, block, stop a player from trying to go under the wall. Why the hell would Marseille not have a player to do that in this game, right? Szoboszlai is such a free kick specialist, so you bank on your players jumping to block the shot over the wall. Why the hell would you not put a player to block the shot underneath the wall? That said, it's a great strike. A lot of power into the strike. Keeps it low, keeps it into the corner. 1-0 Liverpool. And then that second half was literally everything Liverpool failed to do in the first half. They did it in the second half, right? When you have the opportunity to break, when you have the opportunity to get in behind, you take it, right? That goal the big chance that Ekitike misses is an example of that, right? We had that same opportunity maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 times in this game. And that was the first time that we took advantage of it. Szoboszlai plays Ekitike in, and it's a great strike, hits the post. And then on the other side, Mason Greenwood plays in, I think it's Ahmed Traore, and he blazes it over, right? Literally within 30 seconds, either team could have scored. Maybe either team should have scored, but definitely Liverpool should have scored from that position. And Mason Greenwood, we didn't really see as much of him in the first half. We saw him wake up a little bit in the second half, but still, he didn't really seem up for the game. He didn't really seem aggressive throughout the game. And you need your best player to be aggressive throughout the game, right? You need him to be to make things happen, and he didn't do that for Marseille. And when he doesn't do that, you don't really see where he's going to come from. You don't really see who else can kind of pick up that mantle and be the guy that makes things happen for this Marseille side. But all in all, Liverpool rounded off with and Szoboszlai, I was so critical of him in that first half. Second half was exceptional, right? He gets his goal, and then that little flick that he plays to Gravenberch at the end of the game. Gravenberch drives through the midfield, finds Gakpo, 3-0, comfortable. I think 3-0 actually is a fair reflection of the result, right? Marseille did not have too many clear-cut opportunities. I mean, Aubameyang had a decent chance. Obviously, the chance that Ahmed Traore had, it's on his left, it's bouncing, it's out of the box. It's a bit of a difficult chance. They really only created one solid, quality chance, or 1 or 2 solid quality chances, but Liverpool had so much more than that, right? Salah's miss, Ekitike's miss, the offside goal. I think Frimpong does exceptionally well for the second goal, the own goal, right? I love his direct nature when he gets on that right wing. Like, just give him the ball, give him a little space, let him go one-on-one, and players know that he wants to go on the outside, right? He doesn't have a left foot, but he does it at such a quick pace, at such a rapid pace that you can't really, jump the dribble. You can't anticipate it because then you leave the inside open and he can get past you in the inside. So if at a standstill position, he's going to beat 9 out of 10 players, to the byline and get his crosses in. And in the beginning of his Liverpool career, those crosses were so poor. They were weak. They weren't getting to the intended target. Now, recently, they're so much more effective. They get to the target, putting more power into it, more effective, more clinical. In the final third is Frimpong. And he's that second goal is entirely his hard work. So credit to him. And credit to Liverpool. This was a very, very good performance. It's a very necessary win, right? I know we have Karabakh next in the final game of the group stage. I think I'm going to bank on us being able to win that game. But now we're so much more comfortable, going into that game, because I think top 8, you might need 16 points to get top 8. Liverpool are definitely in pole position to be one of the, I think, top 4 teams. I think we ended this match day in 4th place. I think at the end of this entire group phase, we can see ourselves probably comfortably in that 4th, 3rd or 4th position, depending on, kind of what happens throughout the rest of the Champions League. But this was an impressive performance, right? Very controlled. McAllister in the midfield was exceptional. He's kind of getting back to his regular form, right? Pinging passes around, comfortable on the ball, strong in the tackle. He's finally looking like the McAllister from last season. Gravenberch as well. It seems like the rise in form of McAllister has kind of risen the form of Gravenberch as well. And then Szoboszlai is also complementing. So it's the midfield 3 from last season, right? Wirtz and Salah and Ekitike were generally poor in the final third today. Gakpo comes in, contributes a little bit more. So it's good, that the attacking players are kind of producing, the midfield players are kind of producing back at their normal level. Now it's time to get some wins in the Premier League. That's where it matters the most. And, in my opinion, securing that Champions League spot is very, very important for this Liverpool team. But this is a great performance. I think Marseille, the way they play is high risk, high reward, right? And today was a very risky, team to play that style of play against, and it did not pay off at all. I know they like to get their center backs up the pitch. I know they like to, but I didn't see anything impressive from Kondogbia, and I've never really been too impressed by him as a player in general. Pavard, yes, when he bombs forward, when he's playing that right wing back, when he's playing right back, when he's playing center back, and he can kind of step forward, he can look decent. But in defensive positions, you don't really trust him, right? You don't trust him as a defender. This is why he's always played kind of away from the center back position. So, not too impressed by him. I think Medina was decent. I think Murillo was decent. But that was really it. Højbjerg didn't really control the midfield. Guri was poor up top. Greenwood, like I said, didn't really affect the game as he normally does for Marseille. Hamad Traoré on that left wing wasn't really good. Igor Paixão comes on, kind of offers a little bit more in terms of attacking quality, but also doesn't really offer much in the time that he was given. Aubameyang has the chance. So Marseille, you can't really look at any player and think to yourself, okay, this guy performed well. This guy performed at his regular level, right? I think Rudy was poor. Every cross that went into the Marseille box, he looked scared. He looked worried. He looked concerned. Like, bro, you have hands. That's your advantage as a keeper. You have hands. You have the ability to grab the ball, and he looks scared of the ball every single time. I don't understand it, but it was poor from him as well. So just overall poor from Marseille. The fans were up for it. The fans were energetic. They were, pushing the team forward, but the team just didn't have it. And at the end of the day, Liverpool are a better team than Marseille. Like, let's not confuse that. Liverpool are a better team than Marseille. So Marseille needed to be at their absolute best level to win today, and they were very, very poor. But Liverpool was very, very good. And the defense from Liverpool today, Kerkez has picked it up. Kerkez has finally figured it out in the Liverpool kit. Frimpong has picked it up this new year as well. Van Dijk, doesn't matter who you put next to him, Konate, Gomez, he looks extremely, extremely assured, extremely confident and comfortable. Today was an exceptional performance from him. He marshaled that back line perfectly. Communication perfect. He only had one little slip up where he lets I think it's Aubameyang in behind, but Gomez cleans it up for him. So it's just a great performance from the Liverpool team as a whole. But special shout out to the back line, Van Dijk and Kerkez. Van Dijk, Kirkes, Frimpong, and Allison and Gomez. They were all exceptional today. I can't think of any of them putting a foot wrong throughout this game. So like 8 out of 10 for all of them. Midfield was great. Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister. The attack struggled, but when you have 8 players performing at a very high level out of the 11, chances are you're going to get the win. So credit to Liverpool's great performance today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all very, very soon. Peace out.